Hello everyone and welcome to the next Resco webinar. My name is Stano. I'm based outside of Boston, Massachusetts, and I would like to welcome you to today's topic, and that's COVID-19 Passport, a self-certification application for your business. Thanks a lot for finding time to spend probably around 30 minutes. That should be enough to cover the topic today. My goal is to actually show you how we can leverage mobile technologies to make the lives a little bit easier for our employees, our workers, our staff that is trying to find ways how to come back to the new normal life, coming back to work, to the offices, to the branches, etc., so that they can continue with their jobs just like we used to do before the global pandemic. Few facts or a little bit of the house cleaning information. I believe you're all muted, but please, if you'll have any questions, use the GoToWebinar application to post questions in the question section of the GoToWebinar window. We'll have some time towards the end of the session to cover hopefully all of the questions that you'll have. Also, if you'll feel like you want to share some comments, ideas, feedback, that's very much appreciated as well. So with that, let me put this screen a little bit further away. Perfect. And for those of you who are not super familiar with Resco, just very quickly, we're a company who has been in business for more than 20 years, focusing on mobility, mobile technologies, mobile applications, mobile developer tools. Our main solution is a platform or technology for creating mobile experiences for many different touch points, many different devices, and tightly integrated with some of the industry-leading backend CRM systems. We have more than 2,500 customers from over 100 countries, and these actually account for more than 200,000 licensed users. These are individuals who use Resco technology on their mobile devices to access their corporate data on the go or collect data when out of the office. We have a global footprint. Currently, we have offices on 2 different continents, just outside of Boston, Massachusetts, in a lovely town called Brookline, and our headquarters is in Bratislava, Slovakia, where we have a couple other offices as well. So as I mentioned, our technology has been proven by the market. We work with more than 2,500 customers. We are a fairly horizontal company with a horizontal solution. We have customers from many different industries. The main thing or the main uniting factor is that these companies from these many different industries have a lot of their staff working out of their offices, visiting customers, clients, sites, collecting data, and doing a lot of other stuff out in the field, and they require a mobile solution to do so. So based on our pretty rich experience and a lot of know-how that we gained around mobility and mobile technologies, and actually the great advantage that we have working with so many customers all around the globe from so many industries, helped us to create a solution fairly quickly that aspires to help with the COVID-19 issues that we're facing right now. I know it varies from country to country. Here in Massachusetts, where I'm based in, it's actually a requirement that all employees actually have to self-certify before they start the shift or go to work to actually provide the supervisor, manager, or their employer in general all the information about themselves related to the COVID-19 disease. So what we created is a COVID-19 passport, a very flexible and scalable solution that can be very quickly deployed utilizing the existing Resco technology and Resco applications. It's not only a simple app that is too rigid or locked in. It's a solution, it's a complete solution that comes with tools such as Designer that I'll talk about a little bit more. And it allows to shape and change the application as the regulation, as the requirements and the situation in general changes and evolves. Part of the solution is an Analyst tool, so a set of different modules that allows to actually evaluate the data on the go, so that the organizations, companies, and institutions can make quick decisions and quick actions. Our solution, notoriously known for having multi-platform support, works on all types of devices, so that's a big advantage for the customers and the end users as well. We understand this is a sensitive topic, so security is our main priority here. Our solution can be utilized in many different ways. We have a pretty strong footprint in the Microsoft Dynamics ecosystem. So this solution can fully utilize the Dynamics architecture based on Microsoft Azure, CDS, for example, etc. But we're also seeing a lot of interest from companies outside of Microsoft world. So we're offering this solution as a standalone cloud-based solution that is based on industry-leading cloud providers, Microsoft Azure and Amazon's AWS, Amazon Web Services. For these customers that are interested in utilizing Resco's COVID-19 Passport application, we offer multi-tenant environment. There's a security module built into Resco platform that allows to manage the applications over the air. Secure protocol is a standard for synchronization of data. The application is encrypted out of the box with industry-leading encryption methodology. For select devices that have fingerprint support, we also support the login using the fingerprint scanner. We have also support for a strong password that can be set up, and when companies choose to change their backend system, we offer custom-made data purge and data delete plans. So the COVID-19 Passport solution, what it is it an application? Is it a questionnaire? Can I do something with it, like change some of the questions? If there's maybe a set of questions that you would like to add there in the questionnaire, how does it look? How does it work? All these questions are perfectly relevant. Those are exactly the questions that we're actually hearing from the field, from the market. And for those of you who are probably more familiar with Resco's solution, the new COVID-19 Passport solution is fully based on Resco Inspections. What that means, the Resco Inspections is a full matrix solution that consists of multiple different modules that can be utilized to create the final solution tailor-made for the purposes and based on the requirements of the final project. The first and probably the most important module is the Resco Designer, so an easy-to-use tool that allows to create different types of questionnaires that are actually available through the mobile application. The advantage of Resco Designer is that it's a web-based tool. There's no need to be a coder, developer, or programmer. Most of the things are done with just the mouse and keyboard through a drag-and-drop UI. So there's a designer that can be utilized to reshape the questionnaire. Big advantage of the COVID-19 Passport app or solution is that we actually created a questionnaire based on the CDC requirements that is available as a template and can be utilized by the companies, so they don't have to start from scratch. Everything is semi-prepared or almost fully prepared to be put together. The second module is the mobile experience. So think of that as the application for the actual mobile users, the employees, contractors, the people who are going to be equipped with the application. Big advantage of our solution is that it's a It's a native application working on all three major platforms that we're seeing people are using all around the globe. So it's an iOS application, Android application, and Windows application as well. So if you want to equip your offices with, let's say, a tablet or maybe a Windows-based laptop to run this application centrally, you can do that perfectly as well. And maybe a bonus, we also support some of the wearable technologies, so this application can be used on a smartwatch as well if you have a very progressive or perhaps young workforce that would love to take advantage of their smartwatches. Currently, we support Apple smartwatch and Android smartwatches as well. And the last module for this solution is the analyst part. So when you collect the data, when the actual users answer all the questions, it's important that you as a manager, supervisor, or business can get a quick understanding of what's going on. So the analyst part of Resco solution comes in two different levels. The first level is built into the solution. So there's an automatic dashboard, so a very visual way through charts and different graphs and tables to represent all the collected data. The second tool, also fully built into the technology, is a results viewer that gives you a much more granular way to understand what kind of data is being captured or collected. And then the real power comes when through the second level, when Resco COVID-19 Passport is connected with the outside reporting solutions, and they can be as simple and as easy as a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, or if your company is already using some of the leading reporting solutions such as Microsoft Power BI or Tableau, these can be connected very easily as well, and provide the option to create custom charts, custom dashboards, graphs, etc., so that we get a great understanding and can make very quick decisions. So that's about the theoretical part. Let me now move it to the demo, and I'll show you three different approaches. The first one will go over the mobile application. So we covered the use case for the mobile user. The second one, I'll show you the Excel spreadsheet, how the report can be set up and how you can make quick decisions based on all the collected data. And then the third demo will highlight the designer module to showcase how quickly we can change the questionnaire, adjust the questions, and expand it when the situation changes or when we as businesses are required to capture some new information about our employees. So let me bring my phone to the scene. For the purposes of the COVID-19 Passport application, we created a very simple, almost minimalistic type of mobile application with as few items on the home menu as possible, so that the end user never gets too lost and everything is available at maximum of 2 taps from the home screen. The application can feature a custom logo at the very top of the screen. I just put here Resco.net logo for purposes of this webinar, but your company's logo can be at the very top as well. And then underneath on the home menu, I have the questionnaires where I have the COVID-19 self-checking symptoms questionnaire that is utilizing the existing template that we as a company are providing. And then underneath, this is coming as a requirement from the companies we talk to, quick access to the latest information and updates on the COVID-19. I know we have attendees from all around the world attending this webinar. But quick example here, if you're based in United States, you can easily bring the website from the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention here, right in the application. That brings me all the latest information and updates on the COVID-19 disease. If you're, for example, based in Europe, we can bring the European CDC resources with all the recent information, statistics, graphs, charts, dashboards, etc., so you know what's going on out in the world or in your country in particular. If you're in other parts of the world, Australia, Asia, Africa, South America, and you would like to bring your country's resources here, that's very easy and can be done in less than 2 minutes using the Resco tool. So all the resources can be part of the application so that your employees, your users have quick source to everything relevant. And then let's go to the questionnaire, probably the part that we're most interested in showcasing today. So we call the questionnaire COVID-19 Passport, and my version combines also the AI face mask checker, and I'll show you that in a second. So I'll tap on it. It opens up the Health Passport questionnaire. We try to make the font pretty large so it's easy to read, and trying to minimize the number of tabs. All the questions are on single screen, so I can just slide it up and down. I know that probably 3 weeks ago, the face mask, especially in the United States, were not even a requirement. 2-3 weeks ago, now they're required to be worn outside on the streets, in the shops, in the indoor areas as well. So part of the questionnaire can be functionality to check if the actual employee or the user is wearing a face mask. We're actually using the AI functionality to do that. And this is kind of the Resco's attempt to make selfies cool again. So what I can do as a user, I can tap on the little camera button. I'll take a selfie of myself and we'll see what kind of result we'll get. So let me do that right now. I choose the option to capture the picture, flip the camera, take a picture of myself, hit use photo, and you can see that we get the result that yes, I'm wearing a face mask, so I can easily continue to the next set of questions. Underneath, I'm going to identify myself so that my employer knows who am I and who actually responded to these questions. We're trying to keep the application as anonymous as possible so that there's no risk or no concerns about sharing too much personal data that can be linked to particular individual. So instead of using the first name and last name, there's an option to just put employee ID number. So let's say I put mine, and I can also define my location. I'm based in Brookline, Massachusetts. That way I identified myself and I can actually move on to the questions. So first, and probably the most important question is if I've been tested for COVID-19. If I choose the answer no, nothing happens and I can move on. If I choose the yes answer, we can roll out additional question based on that. And that question asks me about the result of the test. Again, if I choose negative, perfectly fine. If I choose positive, we can light it up in red. But let's keep it simple. Let's say I haven't been tested and I haven't had any fever, so that's fine. Again, if I choose I had fever, we can roll out additional questions that will ask about when the first symptoms occurred, if there are any additional problems I'm experiencing with my respiratory system, more information about the cough, if I'm feeling weak, if I'm experiencing shortness of breath. Based on that, I can move on to the next section about the medical history, questions around my travel, if I've been in foreign countries in the last 3 weeks, if I've been in contact with people who have a confirmed case of COVID-19 or someone who returned from abroad in the last 3 weeks, or perhaps these people experience some additional symptoms such as fever, breathing problems, or flu-like symptoms. And then the last question from the medical history asking about my whereabouts, if I'm attending any mass gatherings, or perhaps I'm meeting with large group of people, excluding public transport, of course, and shops. And then the last section here about the risks. Am I in contact or belong to people that are classified as higher risk individuals because of maybe some additional complications, health complications that they have? I can fill it up right here. If I share household with people who are perhaps a higher risk group, or if I've been in quarantine at home. And then the last question, how often do I go outside? Let's say daily. Based on my answers, we show the result. If any of the answers are classified or actually assessed as possible risk, we show this big red sign at the very end of the questionnaire that tells me that I need to go through additional screening and most probably contact my supervisor, my manager, etc. And to actually confirm that I answered everything to best of my knowledge, there's a little signature button at the very bottom of the screen. So if I tap on that, I can add my signature confirming that these are the correct answers or the answers to the best of my knowledge. I can look it through, everything looks good, but I experienced some fever, so that's the reason we show that red screen, and I can just hit the save button in the right upper corner. I'll show you what happens if everything is answered without any risks or any concerns. So if everything looks good, we show this big green result, this big green sign that lights up and can be used when entering a building or your office. So if you're going through the reception or those areas in your building, you can show, the employees can show this badge right away that they passed the questionnaire, and it can be also confirmed with the questionnaire there. So the application tries to be very simple, very minimalistic, one questionnaire with all the questions that we actually captured from the CDC, and they're available on one single screen so that the user don't have to make too many tabs. If you ask the question, great, but what can we do now when we collect the information? Let me show you the example of the Analyst part. This is the example where we utilize Microsoft Excel. What we're hearing from companies we talk to is Excel is one of the most preferred tools to use as the Analyst tool, because most of the companies, most of the businesses have Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Office suite. So hooking up the data from Resco Inspections Cloud is very easy. We're actually utilizing the OData protocol, and then it's really up to the requirements of the supervisor and the manager to create different types of charts, as you can see here. So we can get all the information about how many people we have screened through the COVID-19 Passport application, how many tested positively, how many respondents are without any symptoms. These are actually interactive, so I can click on some of the charts to get more, to slice and dice the data a little bit more. And then here on the left side, I can actually see a separate table. Perhaps we could make it even bigger or in red color to see the actual employee ID numbers who are required to go through additional screening. So most probably I want to contact all of these employees with the corresponding ID and make sure that they don't show up in the office in the morning. So very easy way to really stay on top of all the collected data. And then the last demo, how we actually change the questionnaire and change the questions, or perhaps add some more questions. So as I mentioned in the beginning, COVID-19 Passport from Resco is based on Resco Inspection Solution. So it actually comes with very powerful tools and modules. One of them is the designer tool that I can open up. It's a web-based tool, as you can see here, running in my browser. And what I can do, I can have a lot of different types of questionnaires. The one that I'm using right now in the application is called COVID-19 Passport. I can click on it to open it up. And this is exactly how that questionnaire looks like with all the questions. At the very top, we have the face mask functionality. Underneath, we have the personal information based on the employee ID and location, and then all the questions that you could see in the mobile application and the results passed or additional screening needed as shown in the application. So if you want to remove some of the questions, that's actually very easy. All we have to do actually is click on the question, and if I click on remove, that would be removed from the application and the questionnaire. If I want to add some more questions, I can switch here on the left-hand side to the components tab, and I have a lot of different types of inputs that I can use in the questionnaire. Think of these as little components or tools. So if I want to capture date, automatically perhaps add an image, maybe some multiple lines of text if I'm required to capture some additional information from the users, etc. These can be easily added on the questionnaire by tapping on the plus or clicking on the plus button. So complete solution, just to wrap it up so that we can stay within the 30 minutes. Simple solution based on Resco Inspections tool. It comes with a very minimalistic mobile application, a pre-configured template capturing the COVID-19 questions that is available for download from Resco website and doesn't have to be recreated from scratch. Very rich functionality on all types of devices that we see people are using all around the globe. Very powerful yet easy reporting tool that can be enabled through Microsoft Excel, or if you use Power BI or Tableau, etc., that can be used as well. And a designer, an easy to use tool that helps you to shape and evolve the questionnaire based on how the situation changes and progresses. So with that, that's all. I see we're gonna have some questions here. My GoToWebinar application is already showing me that. If you have questions or would like to find out more, here's my email address. It's very simple. It's my first name, Ivan or Ivan @resco.net. And let me thank you for your time and for attending this session today if you don't have any questions. But I see here one from Mikiko. Thanks for the question, Mikiko. Is this application localized in different language, including Japanese? Yes, that's a really great question. We get these questions all the time. So yeah, Resco has multi-language support, Japanese, Chinese. I think we support more than 12 or 14 languages out of the box. And it's very easy to translate all the questions, even to languages that we do not support. Some of the frequent ones we get is Spanish, Portuguese. A really interesting one was one company was asking if we support Nepalese. So I don't think we do out of the box, but there's an easy way to create the questions in local language. So yes, languages are supported. Good. So if there are no more questions, thanks again. Hope you have a great rest of the day. And as my colleague Paul likes to say, stay positive and test negative.